Hey everybody on Facebook, this is Bella with Coldwell Banker Pinnacle Properties in Florence. I wanted to do a video about the Airbnb market in the Shoals and how that is sort of changing the tourism industry that we have. You'll have to forgive me because I'm used to making YouTube videos. I'm not used to speaking to friends and family, so I'm going to be a little awkward at first. But hello, grandmas, if you are watching. So what is Airbnb? So Airbnb is a house sharing platform, but it's kind of more than that because you can rent out your apartment, you can rent out your, boat, a tree house, just a room in your house, pretty much any way that you want to structure it, you can do it that way. So right now there are 50 active rentals in the Shoals. Most of the people who come here for events at UNA or events like Shindig or Handyfest. So we just have a lot of things going on that sort of drive up the tourism demand. So I'm going to go over to this website called AirDNA, and basically what it's going to tell us is some statistics about the market, and this mostly deals with Florence. So the average daily rate is $103. It's actually gone down quite a bit. The occupancy rate is pretty high. It's 59%. So, out of all the days that hosts are leaving their calendar available, 59% of them are being booked. Monthly revenue is $1306. This is the average monthly revenue for an Airbnb host, which you're going to realize is exceptionally high because if you were trying to rent a property, like say an apartment around here, you might get max $500 to $600, maybe $700 for a downtown apartment. So with a 1306, you're able to get a lot more money by renting it out nightly instead of monthly. And another good thing about the whole Airbnb tenants is they're not going to have as much wear and tear on the property, but on the other side of the coin, it is going to take more maintenance and more cleaning and sort of the hospitality aspect of running this Airbnb business. Most of the hosts in the Shoals have their entire home, 33 out of the 50, and then 17 have a private room, which with me, I have both my whole house or a private room, so you can rent either one depending on what time it is. And then most of them have at least 2 bedrooms, 1 to 2 bedrooms. Some of them have 3, and it looks like 3 of them have 4. So basically this shows all the Airbnbs in the Shoals area. You can see there's quite a few of them. It's really grown over the past few years. When I first started, there was like 14 of them, including mine, and now there's over 50. So I think that's pretty cool that we have grown like that. Here's a look at my Airbnb. This is my house, and it's kind of like 2 miles from Ricebox, or not Ricebox, but 2 miles from downtown and like 5 minutes from Ricebox. So I'm actually booked tonight, and I was booked the night before that. So I've been booked 3 days in a row. So I've essentially made up 1/3 of my house payment in 3 days just by hosting. And you can see that my place is not anything super fancy. It's just my house. I mean, it's an asset that I already have, so I wanted to sort of, use it to make money. And then my price goes anywhere between 70 to 150 a night, depending on the time of year and the demand. And you can see that this place is, relatively popular. It's got 27 reviews. I've got a lot of good things that guests have said. And then here is a look at some of the other properties in the Shoals. There's a lot of great Airbnbs here. I've got to say that the people who host in the Shoals are extremely good at maintaining their Airbnbs. A lot of times when I get booked and I have a guest who is usually staying at my house, I just refer them to one of the other Airbnb properties. So it is pretty cool to see how many different ones there are. And they're springing up pretty quickly. It seems like people have caught on to the whole idea of making money off of their properties. So let's just talk about the numbers a little bit more. I came up with this little sheet because I wanted something to kind of give you that was tangible. If you want, you can go ahead and pause the screen so you can read all of it if you would like. So the numbers that we're going to talk about, okay, $50 a night, and you only book 5 nights a month. So you could get potentially an extra $3,000 a year just by hosting 5 nights a month. And then, if you double that, which would be 10 nights, you're looking at an extra $6,000 a year. And, at a price point of 75, which is more realistic, even hosting 5 nights a month, you're looking at $4,500 a year, or, at a maximum $9,000 a year. So It really just depends on what kind of property you have. But if you already have, like, say, a mother-in-law quarters or, some kind of clubhouse or pool house that you are not using, you should definitely post it up on Airbnb because you're losing money by not hosting. And it's not very complicated. I would like to tell people that it's really simple. You just have to put out toiletries and towels and kind of make them feel comfortable, and figure out how you're going to get them checked into the property, whether or not you're going to get a smart lock or greet them when they get there. So the average home prices in the Shoals are cheap. We know that you can get a really nice decent property for 50 to 100 grand. So if you're looking at that and you're thinking, okay, if I make 6,000 a year hosting on Airbnb, we can pay off a $50,000 property in 8.5 years with just rent revenue. So, I mean, it's really something to think about. A lot of the times that I've been running the numbers on mine, I've realized that I am paying off basically my house like so much faster just because I'm able to rent on Airbnb. So yeah, that's kind of my little spiel on Airbnb. And again, this is a website that, you can travel anywhere. I'm going to use it to go to New Orleans for 4 nights, and I'm only paying like $300. So it's a really neat website. And then if you want to look at other places, you just come up here and type, and then you type the dates for your trip. It's pretty simple, and this AirDNA website could be useful if you are thinking about hosting, because you can get a good idea of how much your place would rent for, and sort of what your property would be going for price per night. As you can see, most of these are really cheap. 77, 75, 105, 76, 36, 45. So they're very affordable. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of introduce you guys to the Airbnb market. I know that a lot of you guys know that I host on Airbnb, and you kind of have like asked me questions about it, which I try to explain to everybody that it's not weird and it's not like a huge liability. It's just another, one of the many ways that you can make money in the sharing economy. So yeah, thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions about Airbnb.